What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This one's entitled Parents and People Made Savages. Or made me a savage. How about that? Parents and bad people made me a savage. Self-explanatory, right? I was watching something like a clip from a movie, and I just happened to be out and about and just heard something in the conversation. I wasn't ear hustling, but it sparked this. You know, a lot of times parents and people like to point the finger at the younger generation and call them savages, and which because how they act. And when I was younger, basically we was the same thing. We was thugs and criminals. You know, those thugs was a great word back then. Basically, Tupac coined thug, and it just ran, right? And part of the problem to me is, and I'm gonna start with the bad parents. You bad parents made me a savage. Us bad parenting made me a savage, right? I'm saying me just to get it out the way. You know, for some of you parents out there who, you know, used to put credit in your kid's name, that's a long time ago, but, you know, I was a kid back then. You created that savage. You put them in the hole. You know, for you parents who drop your kids off anywhere around anybody because you just wanted to get them out of your head, and those kids got abused, and those kids felt unprotected, so they got harder and harder and harsher and harsher. You know, you made them a savage. You know, for you parents who went to work and you ate, you came home and you ate, but you didn't feed your kids, and your kids was out there is starving. While, you know, you either went out to eat at work or on the way back home from the job, and ain't nothing in the house, and you just sitting there like, huh. And as your kid gets older, they realize that's what you do. You made them a savage. You made them go out there fend for themselves. Because I'm gonna get to the people later, but because the world is savage, right? For you parents who taught your kids how to lie. And now your kids are grown and they lying to you, and you mad because they should have some type of integrity and dignity because you didn't raise them to be a liar. Yes, you did. You made them a savage. You know, for all you parents who thought it was cute for kids to be disrespectful, and now they disrespectful teenagers and adults. They just regurgitating what you gave them. You made them a savage. You did. You know, because a lot of times people like to come up on the back end and like, these kids need to make better decisions. These young people need to be better people. They're a representation of you. See, just because you put on a nice outfit today, and you're trying to, and you've learned how to cover up your dysfunction, doesn't mean you didn't teach that dysfunction. They just raw and uncut with it. You just a refined degenerate. You feel me? So you made them a savage. For all you people who, you know, you sent your kids out into the street to actually be in the criminal activities so they could help pay bills in the household. You made them a savage. You know, for all you parents who found drugs in your house and you let them keep the drugs, or guns in your house and you let them keep the guns, you made them a savage. You okayed it. You know, for all you people who taught your girls to be hypersexual and use their body to get what they want and manipulate people, and, you know, as long as she get what she want, she can get people killed and it doesn't matter because she didn't really do anything. And now she's out in the streets doing it, manipulating people, using people. You made her a savage. You did that. See, bad parents created these savages. As long as you looked at the school as a babysitter and you didn't see what your kid was doing, or wanted to see your kid get smarter or work on their education, or create an environment where they can learn that they have more options in life than they think, and you shorted their window of options, you made them a savage. You know, if you are one of those parents who taught your child to hate the other parent or the other side of the family, and then they grow up and hate that side and they act out, and then they come to find out that they only know half of the story, and then they blow up, you made them a savage. Because now they don't want to blow up on you because they already programmed, right? You made them a savage. So, you know, bad parents made me savage, you know. For the parents who do as I say, not as I do, and everything you did was dysfunctional, and they just repeating what you did, and all of a sudden, just because you went to church, you started going back to church, a couple years ago, now you don't even speak Arabic. Shut up. The Lord's gonna fix it. No. Lord ain't fixing what you created. You made them a savage. You gotta fix that. But see, I bring this up because you people but you grown. You on your own. You making your own decisions. You a grown man. You a grown woman. You can't be putting that off on nobody else. You did everything to make sure that kid was going to grow up to be a savage adult, and now all of a sudden it just popped up out of nowhere and they grown. Right. You abusing your kids, and then they get to the age where they can defend themselves, and then they start fighting back against you, but in public, you shouldn't be fighting back at your parents. You kind of made them a savage because you was beating their ass in private, and then when they got sick of it and they out in public, you're spinning public opinion because it does look like the kid is abusive to, I'm a victim. No, you're not. Now, let's get to the people. You teachers out here who not just educating these kids in academics, you out here having sex with these kids, manipulating these kids, treating these kids like lesser human beings for your own prejudices, and you wonder why they hate certain type of people? Because you made them a savage. You know what I'm saying? You police officers out here rolling up on kids, picking fights with them, tuning them up, patting them down, embarrassing them, trying to emasculate them, you know, putting guns to their head, and then now you in fear for your life 10 years later. You made them a savage. You people who come around and you have some knowledge and some position to exercise your power, and then you become a bully because you know your position holds you up high and this person down low, and you manipulate that to always rain down terror on a person who didn't do anything to you, and they're not helpless, but they're ignorant of how you're manipulating the system. They just know it's wrong. But when they get in a position, or they say forget your position, because you over there smiling while you throwing people under the bus because you got whatever mental issues you got, not necessarily mental issues, but whatever bully complex you got, and they remember that, you made them a savage. You know, for you people who felt like you was in your prime and you were a punk. So what you did was you constantly was a terrorist to the weak and the helpless. And they grew up. And now you got older. Now it's your turn. And now you weak and helpless. And now they don't care about your situation because you didn't care about theirs. You made them a savage, you know. For all you people who were overly religious, and church people who are so into God, but you treated people so ungodly, and now when they see you, they treat you the very same way that you treated them when you felt like God made you above these other human beings. You made them a savage. You know, and for you people who had more money than people, and you made them feel bad for not having more money, and you instead of telling them how they could get ahead, you marginalized them because they wasn't. Well, they got ahead now, and they gonna let you know at every turn, savagely, how it's going down. You made them a savage. See, the reason I'm saying this is because we always want to act like people's behavior just came from nowhere. You know, there are some people who are just spoiled and silver spoon type people who just are overly entitled. But there's a segment of people who, in all honesty, you trampled all over them. And some of those people didn't make it, but the ones that survived, and I don't mean savage as you know, everybody's a criminal. What I mean is, you know, there are people who are very functional in society that don't have any problems with conflict, confrontation, and cutting your throat or stabbing you in the back because they've been stabbed numerous times and survived. They've gotten their throat cut numerous times and survived. And now you created the very thing that you fear. But you want to act like you ain't have nothing to do with it. You made that Frankenstein. Now you gotta live with it. You know, that's why sometimes when certain people do certain things, I kind of lay back. I'm like, I mean, you don't know how people are gonna react and how they're gonna grow and how they're gonna respond, and how deep that wound is and what they're willing to do to you. So if your behavior creates a savage, you got to deal with it. That's your fault. We out.